right, Lexi, let's get this party started, shall we?
Yeah, I'm ready.
And welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast. I am your host, Mark Ross, and with me this evening, I have with me Miss Lexi Singer. Lexi, thank you for coming on to my show. Thank
Of
you very
course.
much.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Uh, the reason why we're having this show, ladies and gentlemen, is because her and I had a conversation at a meeting, and you spoke to me about an addiction that you have,
hmm
and I would like for us to discuss said diagnosis because I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I never heard of this. So, uh, before we get started with that, though, can we just share a little bit about who you are
Yeah.
and what you do?
Yeah, of course. I'm Lexi Singer. I'm going to be a senior at Marquette University. I'm studying psychology and communications, and I currently work at a nonprofit called SWIM, which is an acronym for Scaling Wellness in Milwaukee.
Mhm.
And it's on 27th Street, and we basically are able to give out free yoga classes, support groups, cardio classes, and it's just a way to get people from the community together, but also allow that people who don't have the option to pay for these classes are able to have wellness in their life. So yeah, I'm an intern there, and I really like what I do.
That's what's up. Cool, cool. Uh, what is the title of your diagnosis? Just out of curiosity.
It is cannabinoid, and then I don't know how to pronounce it. Cannabinoid syndrome.
Hyperemesis
Yeah,
syndrome?
cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. Yes.
Yes, yes. Um, Before we get into the diagnosis, uh, I think we should dig a little deeper into your life because I think that played a little bit as to why we got where we are with you, right? So, talk a little bit about how life was for Lexi growing up.
Yeah. So I have a single mom, which I love my mom. She's awesome.
Mhm.
But I did realize now that I'm older that had a really big effect on my feelings toward myself. I had a lot of feelings that I wasn't enough, or that like I had just a lot of strong feelings of like depression and anxiety, and that stemmed from that like abandonment. And
Mhm.
so as I got older, I'd say around 4th grade was when I felt like I had like a deep doubt of like I don't want to be here, like very like dark thoughts.
Mhm.
And it just kind of continued. It was kind of weird. It was kind of that thing where like you're like I don't think anyone feels this way, so I'm not going to talk about it and I'm not going to like bring it up. But when I got to my freshman year of high school, I found vaping and specifically weed, any type like joints, pens, bowls, and that's where I kind of found like my yes, this is how I'm gonna treat how I'm feeling.
Mhm.
I remember a specific feeling like when I first did it, and it was like very much like happiness, and I don't even remember like having that feeling before, like true happiness.
Mhm.
And it was also a way for me to not think about hard things. Like I definitely use it as a main coping mechanism for when I was dealing with something hard in school, or when I was dealing with a friendship fight, or a breakup. And yeah, it was just something I could always go to when I wanted to turn off my brain.
Now,
So
let me ask you. You said it made you happy, right? Did it make you happy because of the feeling of being high, or did it give you like a temporary escape from the four walls, the reality?
yeah, I definitely say it's a mix of both. Like at first, well, I also didn't think I was addicted until recently, but like at first, like I was just like I love smoking, like I love like the socialization, like it makes me feel like I'm cooler and I'm a better person, and like I feel like I was funnier in that aspect, but I also think that it allowed me to not take things so seriously, and to not have such a serious tone on like what my life was and how I was struggling, and instead like, you know, block that kind of image out of my head. So I say it's a mix of both for sure, but the latter got more increasingly as the happiness decreased.
Mm, mm. Uh, and you mentioned that you felt like you didn't need to be here. Uh, what was that feeling like? Because I really don't think that people understand what it is to feel like they don't want to be here. You know, people get depressed or feeling, you know, they have their down days, but I know how I felt when I had those moments or days where, you know, it's just a big effort, you know. But
Yeah.
how did that feel for you?
Yeah. So I got diagnosed with major depression when I was 18, but I'd say growing up, it was this intense feeling of like, it was basically like a rabbit hole. Like I did something wrong in school, or like I felt upset, or like I felt this like feeling in my body that was like you need to be upset with yourself, or like you need to hate on yourself. And it gets very lonely because I ended up taking that out on others, mostly like my mom or like my friends, because I didn't know what to do with these feelings. And it was very hard because I definitely considered like suicide as an option. And that's a really dark place to be, especially like at a young age. Like, um, I'm very like I'm very much a person of like please come talk to me, but then I also like at the same time like I was very stuck in my own head thinking about ways that like I shouldn't be here and like how everyone would be better off, and it was a very dark place. And some days like I do feel like that deep amount of depression, like I just wake up and I'm like, God, life really sucks.
Mm,
But I mean, it's gotten easier with coping, but it's always going to be something that's there, and sadly, that's something I have to live with. Um, but yeah, I'd say it's gotten better through what I help myself with.
hmm hmm Were there any other drugs involved other than the vaping and the marijuana use?
Um, I I had done some psychedelics, but I wouldn't say like that wasn't my main fix. I'd say like marijuana and vaping, and then as I got to college, it became drinking as well.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that. You did mention that. But the drinking wasn't the big issue for you, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, yeah. I went to like a private school and I was like kindergarten through 8th, so like
Oh,
vaping and drinking was like not like I didn't even know that was a thing until I went to high school. Um but yeah, I didn't start drinking until kind of college where it was like everyone drinks, and also being in Wisconsin, that's very much
mm,
a drinking state. Uh
hmm
but yeah, I didn't start that till later.
mm. And when did you notice in your earlier struggles, when did you notice that this became a problem?
I'd say I say like I noticed like minimal problems like probably in my junior or senior year. Like I stopped caring about like classes and like what people like thought of me or like how I presented myself. I feel like I stopped. I had really bad memory, and like I know that's like happens like, you know, but I like I would seriously like reconsider like, oh my god, like I'm turning dumb. And like I felt like those were things where I was like, oh, I just need to lay off smoking. But like real concerns came when I started showing symptoms of the syndrome that we were speaking out about in the beginning.
Did your mom notice any changes in your behavior during the time?
Yeah. Yes. She, it was funny. In my freshman year, like I hid it from her sophomore, junior, and then I found out she already knew. And but the thing is, like, she was okay with it because it was under her roof, but she didn't know how much I was using. So she
Mm,
was aware until I'd say I got to college, like how much I was smoking.
hmm
When she became really aware of how dire the situation came.
mm. Okay, okay. So you have Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome.
Yeah.
Walk me through as to what that is. What does the symptoms look like for somebody going through your diagnosis?
Yes. So I'd say it's kind of a mix between extreme hungover symptoms and stomach flu. I would feel like very nauseous, and I would have like it was like this stomach pain. It wasn't cramps, it wasn't like hunger, it was like it felt like my body was eating itself. Like it was so like painful on my stomach, and it created this thing where I threw up all the time.
Mm,
Like I would go into these spells would last like a day, 2 days, and I would throw up all day every day because it kind of convinces you, or like I convinced myself that like because my stomach was hurting I should keep throwing up, and that
mm,
just went down a bad track for me because the more you do that, the more you lose water, the more you lose like electrolytes, the more you don't eat. And still at that point I would be smoking like during my throw ups, and I like didn't I think I was in denial because it had been mentioned to me, but I
yeah.
never
Yeah.
as like this is the reason why. And it was really hard because my friends at the time um not dealt with me, but they would have to kind of take care of me, and my mom took care of me as well. And like yeah, I just kind of chopped it up to like me maybe being like hungover, or like oh like um I didn't eat enough today, or something of that.
Hmm. Okay. How did it affect your relationships?
um I'd say that I was very up and down in my moods. One day, or like one moment, I was like super happy and stuff like that. And I mean, to this day, I'm still working on it, but I also have a really hard time with people saying no to me. So, especially when I'm high and like on these drugs I used, I would be very upset if someone didn't listen to what I said, or like if something wasn't going my way. And so that was hard for my friends and family to deal with because I mean, they've told me, but I also imagine like they were like walking on eggshells around me because like one thing they say could set me off. And I just remember being really agitated, and it kind of just like I don't know, like I feel like it made me be a less reliable friend, and it made me have a really rocky relationship with my mom at a point, where I was always kind of like upset with her, and nothing that she said was right, and I was always right. So
Mm,
it was really hard for me to feel like I thought I was being like a fine friend. I'd be like, why are people mad at me? But like not realizing that like what I'm doing is the cause of my behavior that's affecting others.
you're the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not them, it's you.
Yeah. And it probably, I mean, still, not still, but like earlier like this year in 2025, I didn't realize that until then. So it took me about 6 years of using for me to realize that I'm actually the issue, and like I'm the one that needs to like help myself in order to mend these type of relationships.
Mm. And when did you decide to get help?
So this was this past August, so almost coming up on a year. I had gotten really badly sick. It was kind of the same symptoms I was talking about, but I had added drinking to the mix, smoking. I had recently got a bong, so like there was many different types of like ways I was smoking weed, and it mixed together, and it obviously was not good for me. Um, and this was right around when school was starting for college, and I it'd been 4 days and I couldn't get out of bed. I kept throwing up. I live alone, but my friends were my neighbors, so um, I also relied on them for help. But it was really hard because I felt really bad because I knew like I come to the realization that I kind of knew what was going on, but I still ended up like smoking my pen and like because like doing that stuff made me feel better. So I thought if I did that, then I wouldn't feel this way.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, it got really bad because I hadn't gone to school in 4 days, and like it was getting to the point where like you are counted absent and now it's affecting your grade. So my mom ended up coming up and she was like, you need to stop this. Like, you need to stop this. And I was like, it was really hard for me because, like, I didn't want to stop anything. Like, I love being high. Like, it was very much a social thing. And, like, at a I was like, I'm like the weed girl. Like, everyone comes to me and asks me for weed. And I'm like, okay, so I'm losing that. And a part of me even thought that, like, I wouldn't be funny anymore. And, like, that was, like, a big fear of mine. And, like,
Mm.
yeah, so I ended up quitting cold turkey on drinking, vaping, weed on September 1st. And it was really hard. Like, the symptoms of withdrawal is really hard. Like, I probably couldn't eat regular for a week. I couldn't really do big activities. I was super bored all the time. Like, I needed something to do. And, like,
Yeah.
it was funny because I didn't think about the fixation, but it's almost just like, I don't want to feel this way. So
Mm.
yeah, that was like the breaking point, and um, I tried to stay at school, but it was almost impossible for me to not get more extensive help, and that's when I decided to go to rehab.
Yeah. How long was rehab?
Rehab, I think I started like September 13, 14, and I graduated near the end of November. I think, oh no, the end of December. Yeah. So about 3-ish months. Yeah.
Okay. What did you learn from it?
Well, first they make you like take a P test 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was and that was like very structural that I could rely on is like, okay, well if I do this, then they're gonna know and I'm gonna be pushed back in like my progress. Um but what I learned is that like I mean, it's like cliche to say, but like I'm not alone. Like there was a lot of people who either were alcoholics or abused drugs like I did, or there was actually weed addicts too, because like a lot of people say like you can't get addicted to weed, but it's like almost like the feeling you get addicted to. And so that was helpful to relate because I kind of felt alone in that aspect. Like, who gets addicted to weed? Like, who does that stuff?
Yeah.
And I had a really hard therapist. She was hard on me, and I needed that. I needed someone to tell me like, you're causing a lot of issues. Like you understand, and that's where I kind of realized where like my coping mechanisms were created from. Like that's kind of where I figured out like my father was like the first stepping stone, and then the depression, and then the anxiety, and like um yeah. But I was so grateful to have her because she was the person who said no to me, and I was like, okay, like I can't yell at her, like I mean, I can, but like, it's like, she's my therapist and I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Like, you
Mm.
know?
And you said something earlier that really caught my ear. You said something about peer pressure, about how people are going to view you because you thought that by you making changes was going to not make you cool anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think now, I mean, I think it's always been popular, but like doing drugs and like specifically vaping or like, being like um always intoxicated all the time was like something collegey, and like you're on a college town so you should do whatever you want now
Mm.
because you're older, like you can't really do this stuff and you'll never have this amount of free time, this amount of like weekends with your friends. And so I actually did feel like I was missing out on a lot because even when I went to rehab, like those first month, I was still like super upset because I was missing school, I was missing my education, I was missing what my friends were doing, I was missing going out, and it was really hard for me just because I felt like I was being left behind and like I was gonna be the sober friend and I was gonna be like boring and like I wasn't gonna fit in with what my friends were doing. And it sucks to feel that way
Mhm.
because that wasn't like I wasn't even talking about me. Like I'm not even talking about my person. Like this was like what I was doing drugs, not even who I am really. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And it's a good thing that you had the wherewithal to recognize that the decision that you made was for you.
yeah,
And regardless of how others felt about you not being cool anymore or being the it girl. I mean, that that's that's superficial.
Yeah.
And you realize that. And I just want to bring that back because when you was talking about feeling insufficient and not feeling, included, I think this is important for everybody listening to understand that it's not when you're dealing with issues. Let's just say if you're dealing with some issues about yourself, things that's going on in your life, uh, you can't let others dictate how you feel.
Yeah.
You can't let the perception of how others may view you, you can't give that importance,
No,
because
yeah.
what's important is it's you. You are important. Your mental health is important. Your physical health is important. Your spiritual health is important. And nobody's going to come and rescue you. Nobody's coming to rescue you. You
Yeah.
have to understand that you, at some point, have to stand up for yourself. And I'm glad that you took that opportunity to do that, because peer pressure can be a mother.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Peer
And
pressure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I think I spoke to you about this before, but like I still feel this way, but like as you get older, you start not to care about what people think about you, but like sure at the beginning of college, even like before I went to college, like I was very like not obsessed, but I was very like I need everyone to like me. And if
Mhm.
they don't like me, then like what's the point? Or
Well, what's
like
wrong with you?
exactly, exactly. And I feel like this was the first time that I put myself first in a situation, and like saying that at the age of 20 is kind of like scary, but it's also like this was the first time I made a decision and I only thought about me. Like I didn't think about how it affect my friends. I didn't think about how it affects my family, but like I was doing this for me, and like that was very much like a proud moment I had for myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Uh, uh, you know, I never heard of this diagnosis, so I'm just going to ask: is this something that's rare, or is this kind of common? Because, like I said, when you told me about this, disorder, I'm not even going to lie, I was confused. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What does this mean? So, is it rare?
I I'd say it's more recent due to because I say like I don't know when my mom used to smoke weed and stuff like that. The weed was a lot different. Like it was a lot less chemically, was a lot less
Mm.
um like based in like fentanyl sometimes or like pesticides. So I'd say like now with having all of that and with kind of having the freedom of like being able to do that, I'd say like and also like the pens, like you guys didn't really have stuff like that. So it's like when there's like something like pens where it's like this has this much percent. Well, what's the other percent of this? Like what am I actually smoking? I feel like that was sort of like an addictive part of it that made it so hard on my body for it to do. Because I think there's a certain amount in your body that can handle when it goes past that threshold, that's where you get the sickness, that's where you get the bad feelings. Um and yeah, I just think it's been a new thing just because the rise in cannabis and like how much we're using, also it being legalized, and there's so many shops that are available now. So I'd say it's new, but I actually recently met someone who has the syndrome that I have, and I guess
Mm.
I wouldn't say that's rare. I say like maybe like every 20 people I'd say maybe I interact with.
Wow. And did he go through the same thing that you went through in terms of like symptoms and
Yeah,
all that?
the symptoms are very like when it's very obvious when you have it. Like I didn't I mean like I was just in denial. Like but it
Yeah.
was like when you smoke, throwing up, only heating can help like with like stomach issues. Like I would take like baths or like I would take really hot showers and I'd have like heating pads and like that would only help. And it was like literally like I was reading the thing, I'm like, no, I do this, I do this, I do this. So it's like very specific, but it's also very identifiable. It's like, well,
Mm,
I smoke weed and I do all of this, so that's why. And we kind of like shared that thing where it was like, oh my God, that's why it does it, or like that you felt that way too.
right.
Say it's very like it was the same symptoms, but also like different stories, obviously.
Absolutely. So it's safe to say that you and marijuana have no relationship at all anymore.
No, that is, but I don't plan on using again in my life because I have an addictive personality. Like, not only did it happen with weed, but it happened with vaping and it happened with drinking. And I'm planning on staying away from all of that for the rest of my life.
Amen to that.
It sucks because that's a big part of like, being social and not like the whole part, but like, when you get older and you want to have like a wine night with the girls or like you want to like go on vacation and smoke like some, cigar or something of that. That, uh, but I necessarily just don't feel like I'm missing out. Like, last month I turned 21 and I was dreading that day because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to drink. Like, how am I gonna feel? And it was crazy, like, because I didn't even think about drinking that day. Like, when the day came, it didn't even occur to me that I would like was 21 and I could drink, but it was like I kind of had no feeling of doing it.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
um, yeah, I mean, it sucks because not every day, but like there's some cravings that you're like, I wish I could just smoke. I wish I could just do this. But um, I feel very secure in myself. I also attended AA meetings, and personally, I know those not for everybody, but personally for me, they're really good. I got to talk to people that felt the same way as me, and I felt more of like a connection with adults that were older than me, because I felt like they had more to tell and very supportive in that fact of like I'm getting sober so young.
Yeah.
There's also MA meetings, which is Marijuana Anonymous, and those are fairly new, and those are pretty cool too. Like I've attended a few back home in Chicago, and that was something that I was really interested in. And they have all of them online now, so it's
Mm,
very easy to attend a meeting, and I so appreciate that, especially having to go back and forth and not being able to, kind of have a ritual meeting. But yeah.
mm. Nice, nice. Uh, so you're back in school. Excuse me. Or are you back in school, or you're planning to go back in school?
So I took the winter semester off and then I came back in January to do school. And at first it was hard, but this is the only semester that I've been here that I've gotten all A's. So that says something. That's like, oh my God, I was sober. Now I can actually do work effectively.
Right,
Uh,
right.
so that was something I was really proud of too because um I I kind of also psyched myself out where I was like, smoking weed and like doing homework is easy peasy. Like this stuff is so easy, but like knowing that I didn't have any of those substances and I was still able to exceed what I thought I would get was awesome. And yeah, I sort of like started to like my classes, which is like crazy too, because sometimes you don't take the best classes, but yeah, it also made me start like looking toward my future. I forgot to say this, but a big part of me getting sober was I genuinely used to have facts of like I wouldn't be able to be a mom because I couldn't stop this addiction. And that was like a big part of, being a woman, at least for me, was to have children. And so that was a big stepping stone in like me being an adult and being like, this is my future and I need to do this stuff in order to complete or outdo my future.
Mhm. That's awesome. And you're studying to be a therapist, right?
Yes, yes. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Specifically, I want to work in like rehab or like hospital scenarios because I literally every person there was awesome. Like these people worked so hard. They like make sure everyone's good and like I've never met people that care more. I mean, it also depends on where you work or where you're going, but I've never felt more cared about felt more like loved and like it really helped at that point because I didn't love myself and
Mm.
I thought being sober I'd be so boring and like no one would like me. So being in that kind of community was like I want to do that for everyone. Like I want to do that for everyone who comes in the door. Like I want them to always feel that I care and I want a good future for them.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Uh, I'm looking at the chat here, and my wife Gabrielle says hi and good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, yes. Um, I appreciate the work that you did at such a young age to really turn a frown into a smile. Uh, you you faced the peer pressure, and you said, you know what, this is my life, and I gotta own it.
Yeah.
Right? Not too many people have that courage to do what you did. And I'm not knocking the ones that are still in the process of doing the work, but I'm saying that for you to be such a young woman and recognizing the fact that you had to put the brakes on the habits that you were doing because it was ruining you.
No, yeah. And obviously at first I didn't start like that. Um when I was like first starting out, I was like, ugh, like I wish I got to do it longer.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I got to be older and do it longer. And then also, I remember coming into rehab. The first day, I was like, okay, I need to get out of here, and then I'll be able to
Yeah.
drink again. I'll be able to smoke again.
Hmm.
And so it was definitely a process. But as like the months kept growing, like, because I feel like I've never really been proud of myself, and so like me being sober and doing that for myself, that was like the first time I was like, I can do this. I can do something that I'm proud of. And so it'd be like 1 month, I'd be like, oh my God, that's crazy. 2 months, because I'd never taken a break in all of those years. Like I'd never taken like a tea break on purpose, at least. Um, so it was amazing for me to see that like I could right now. I actually 2 days ago I hit 9 months, so that was awesome.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. But it's like crazy to think about that. Like in September, like I never would have imagined this, and like yeah, I keep going, and it makes me proud. It makes my mom super proud of me. It makes my friends proud of me, and like that's something that I really take because I take not only my family seriously, but my friends I treat like family. So when they're saying like, you're not switching moods, like you seem so much brighter and you seem like so much like better as like, health wise, mental wise. And I really take that into consideration because those are the people I surround myself with every day. And like they truly know what I act like, what I do, and like how I am.
Mm. I feel like I'm listening to a woman that is well older than 21. uh, and you do deserve your flowers. You do deserve to feel appreciated. You do deserve to be happy. And as you explained to me earlier, you didn't feel that way.
Oh yeah.
And uh, you have every right to embrace that, right? And I don't know where you are with the work that you're doing internally, but have you had any opportunity, Lexi, to uh, deal with some people or deal with some situations in your life and say, you know what, I don't give it ownership anymore?
Yeah. Um, I mean, recently I sort of had a falling out with a few friends and past me because I always used to blame myself. Like it was well, most of the time it was my fault, but like in every situation it'd be like, what's wrong with me? Like why am I the problem? Like why am I pushing those away? And I've like never handled something so like maturely before. Like we went our separate ways, and like I know that I wasn't great the entire friendship, but I had confidence in myself that I did the right thing moving forward, and I was the person that I wanted to be. And there's a lot of things that I don't take seriously anymore, which like is so crazy to me because like I used to have really bad social anxiety. Like when I, you know, would see people from like college walking to school, like I'd be like, I'm so scared they'll see me. Like, what are they gonna think of me? And those are the people that like don't like me. And like that was that internal thought of like, people don't like me. Like I'm not worthy of this, that. Um, so it was really awesome, but also really interesting for me to see that change and be like, not that I didn't have to care, but it's almost like something's lifted off my shoulders. Like I don't have to like have this like cloud around me saying like I deserve this, or like I'm not liked by people, so it should dictate how I treat myself.
Mhm. Awesome.
Um yeah.
Man. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. If you had a message for anyone that's out there suffering from what you did or anything in general, if you had a message to give to them, Lexi, what would that be?
So I'd say I have two. One is specifically for like mental health, like depression or anxiety. So cliche once again, but you're not alone.
Mhm.
Like I know how hard it can be. Like we all go through different struggles, but um being depressed is sometimes not something you can control. Being anxious is not something that you can control. Like these are, you know, your brain tricking you, or like your brain, you know, has these thoughts and they're uncontrollable. And I think personally, like the more you personally journaling helps for me. So like the more you write them down, the more you, I like to fact check stuff. So it's like, I have this question: am I doing this? Am I being this person? Well, if not, then I'm okay. Um, but I truly think giving yourself grace is something that we don't do enough. Not only me, but I think a lot of people are hard on themselves. I think a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit. So in that aspect, like you're not alone, and like these feelings are okay to have, and it's only just finding a way that works for you in coping, like finding something that helps you to keep going throughout the day. And secondly, the reason I decided to be interviewed by you is because you're so cool, but also
Okay.
I
Okay. Okay.
I also think addiction is a very stereotyped thing and
Yeah.
has a lot of, like misconceptions, and I don't think it's talked about enough. Um,
No.
and so I wanted to be able to tell my story for people to be like, you know, it's okay not to be that person that you want to be, but there's always room to change that. Like there's always room to change your behavior. There's always room to be a better person because no one's perfect. Everyone, no one's ever been perfect, but um a lot of the time like these addictions are uncontrollable. These are things that your body gets attached to, and even though you want to stop, you need help. And I think like community is something I've always needed, especially if it's just a support group, therapy, friends, honestly. Like, I know people like to rant. I think that's cool too. Like, just, you know, putting that stuff out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, like, it's not scary. I mean, it's scary, but it's not scary to like, oh, these people have something wrong with them, or like, you know, like people with addictions are this and that and this. But I just want people to know like there's people that my age, there's people that are way over my age that are dealing with stuff like this. And I mean, I just say put yourself first. Like you are the most important person in the situation. And in order for you to be the best person you can be, you need to put yourself first in every situation going forward.
And what you did too, Lexi, is you gave yourself grace. That's something that we need to do more of as well. We need to say, you know, I messed up, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't repeat the same mistake. Learn
Yeah.
from your mistake. Do the work. Fix that. Right.
Yeah.
And and for some people that like yourself, you stop cold turkey. For some people, it may be a little, you know, up and down battle, but do the work. do the work, be consistent, and put yourself first. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I always like think about like, like, I mean, I think this goes for everyone. Like when I'm like mad at someone for driving bad, or like when I'm mad at someone for not understanding me, like this is their first time living too. Like me. Like it's like I can be mad and I can definitely like, reserve judgments, but like once again, like we're all living the first life that we know. Um and be patient with not only yourself but others, because sometimes people don't understand because they don't deal with the same stuff that you struggle with.
Yeah. Amen to that. Amen to that. That was a nugget. That was a
Thank
nugget, man. I feel like I'm talking to an older person. You must have an old soul, Lexi. I don't know, but
I've been that before.
oh, you've been told that. Oh, okay. Then I feel good then because I'm not the only one. How can people contact you?
I'm willing to give my phone number out. I don't know if like I don't know how you want me to do it, like type in the chat or something like that. Um, but I'll just say it.
You have an email or something?
Oh yeah, I have an email too. It's my
Let's
name.
start there.
It's my name, Lexi Singer, 2026 at gmail.com. And I'm always open for a talk, like, especially even if it's not about addictions, even if it's not about mental health, like I'm always there for people to ask questions. No question is ever stupid. Some question might be uneducated, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to educate people and not make them understand, but like have them have an insight into what's going on that can help them with a loved one. But yeah, my email is lexisinger2026 at gmail.com.
Lexi Singer, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me and share your story. I hope, well, no, I'm not going to say I hope. I pray that your vision comes to fruition as you study to become a therapist and speak out on your experiences dealing with this disorder, and continue doing the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you
Miss,
for having me again.
absolutely. Miss Old Soul Lexi Singer. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast. As always, it's okay to not be okay. Just do something about it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good evening. Lexi, you have a good evening too.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate that.
And stay in touch.
Of course.
All right. Take it easy now.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.